Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's season 6, episode 8, All Those Brothers and Sisters. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around. I have all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. It's a quiet morning, and Darla slept okay, but Ralph had a lot on his mind. Charley wants to meet with him later as the paperwork concerning the closing agreement is completed. Darla reminds him that no matter what happens, that they'll be okay, and they need to focus on their family and their soon-coming daughter. Nova has a calm morning, but has post-traumatic stress. Her seeing a piece of broken glass triggers the traumatic experience of the police force invasion. Charley has a discussion with the black farmers concerning the arbitration. It's not what they wanted, but the settlement goes as follows: $20,000 from the government and another $20,000 from the American Rescue Plan. It's not what they wanted, but it is progress. The farmers are upset that they're always getting crumbs. In front of everyone, Charley thanks Ralph Angel for all of his hard work. She announces to everyone that paperwork is in the hallway to claim the settlements. Charley speaks with Ralph discreetly that she's not going to give up on the farm. She's just working on additional things that will take more time. Isaiah and Micah review photos displaying his art, and Isaiah encourages him to have a display of everything. Micah just thanks him for always being a good friend, and he's always been a wonderful, positive influence in his life during his most darkest times. Hollywood lets Vi know that he gives Micah permission to have his event to display his photographs. While walking, Vi seems to be faint and can barely hold herself up. Hollywood wants to cancel the event, but Vi says that she'll be fine and she just needs to catch her breath and rest a little while. Nova packs a bag and hears a knock at the door. It's her darling neighbor, Dominic. He brought her some gumbo, but notices she's on her way out. She's not sure where she's going, but she wants to hit the road, letting her spirit guide her. Dominic even offers to get on the road with her just to be safe, and Nova is up for the road trip. Farmers continue to vent at the real spot, and Micah encourages change, liberation, like Fred Hammond. Black people need to think outside the box and get things going radically. Charley gets a call from Davis, and she's super busy, but she explains that she did arrange time for her to rest. Rest surprises her with a car outside and tickets. He wants her to get dressed and be prepared for a good time. Nova and Dominic make a pit stop, and Dominic informs her that he's making legal moves to make sure that black land is returned to black owners. Hollywood and Ralph have a heart-to-heart, and Hollywood says that he knows that he was rough on him, but it was for good intentions. They're still family and they love each other. Now the photo exhibit is ready. A farmer sees a photo of Micah and Isaiah close, and Micah explains it's just an art exhibiting how people shouldn't feel uncomfortable to see the closeness of black men. Vi tries to rest, but her body collapses in exhaustion. The farmer still continues to rant about how the photo of him and Isaiah seems a little too close for him. Hollywood says that it's not a big deal and he's reading too much into it, while Ralph defends him and saying, what if he was? What if they are gay? What's the big deal? My son even had a doll for the longest time. Isaiah even says in many countries, men who are heterosexual even walk and embrace and hold hands. And the gentleman tells him they are not in that country. Dominic talks about the land, which holds a lot of history, and it's the Whitley plantation. He's distraught just thinking of all the things that's done to our people and are still happening. They stand in silence viewing the names of the slave descendants. Hollywood comes home to see Vi collapsed on the floor. He wants to take her to the hospital, but Vi is a little resistant, saying that it's just a flare-up. Hollywood says that if things don't get better, he's taking her to the hospital, period. Nova views more artwork, and there's statues representing little girls. while a little girl of current times whispers certain things to the statues. The little girl even tells Nova that she's very pretty. Isaiah and Micah return to the dorm and they've experienced the first exhibit. Micah doesn't want to do anything else and doesn't want to have any more exhibits, but Isaiah encourages him not to let people's words affect his life or his work. Isaiah expands his arm to place on Micah's shoulder, and Micah seems very uncomfortable. Isaiah breaks down in tears, telling Micah that he doesn't have to be a superhero and try to defend every aspect of his life. As a matter of fact, nobody had to know about his sexuality because it was nobody's business in the first place. Ralph stops by to check on Vi, and he wants to make sure that everything is okay. He apologizes for everything. Vi even says that she looked up the school that Blue attends and realized that it was a great school. He made a good decision to send him there. She was just hurt and felt Blue left her when that really wasn't the situation. Vi was so upset, and it's just time for them to move on. She also can't understand why the Landrys keep doing what they're doing and the fact that they poison the land. All of this time, he's a black man just trying to do his best, and he had a lot on his plate. But Ralph takes full ownership of his mistakes and wants to make sure that he does better in the future. Vi reminds him that she still is his family, and she promised his father that she would look out for all of the children. They hug and move forward. Dominic gets a call from his boss, and he said that he forgot that he had a project that was supposed to be turned in at the end of the day. They both agree that they had a wonderful time on their road trip, and they look forward to many more. Nova thanks him for coming and looking out for her, and she leans in for a kiss, only he stops her. He tells her she's a beautiful person, very smart, and she says, But he continues to say that he doesn't want to kiss in her vulnerable state. Charley arrives and realizes that she's at their old apartment. Davis has a surprise. Inside, there's Duke University decorations, and it's almost identical of how it looked when they lived together before. He plays some old school Escape, and he even ordered some pizza. They reminisce how they didn't even have chairs, and they thought that they had everything figured out. They talk about how they arrived as two but left as three. To her surprise, Davis gets on one knee and proposes. He tells her that she's the love of his life. Charley Bordelon, will you marry me again? Charley says, I don't know, Davis. Davis pleads with her that they can work things out and they'll be okay as long as they're together. Charley says that she's running for Congress and there's a lot of things that she needs to do. She'll be busier than ever, and this is a lifetime moment, an event that she probably won't ever get again, as she has to make her move. Long distance relationships will cause strain before the relationship even has a chance to blossom. Charley says that she loves him, but she can't get married to him, at least not now. Davis says that he's a patient man and he'll wait for as long as it takes. Charley and Micah stop by to see Vi and encourage her to please take things slow and get more rest. Charley then lets her know that the party wants her to run for Congress. Vi is excited and is proud that she's making big moves. If Charley wins, she'll be able to do more when it comes to aspects concerning land and fighting for it. Davis is supportive and they're good. Charley returns home and Davis is in deep thought thinking about what might be. He texts Charley to see if she made it home safely, and she returns the text letting him know that she made it home. Darla tells Ralph that she found an apartment, it's reasonable pricing, and it's in a good neighborhood. Ralph tells her to hold off on it, but she tells him that it's time to start taking matters seriously, and them moving is highly likely. They have to think about their family and the baby. He promises her that he'll get a good job and also get his job back working at the nursing home. He tells her he's going to make money the legit way, and he promises to do better. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. Let's start with Ralph and Darla. So even as that episode closed, we realized that your actions speak louder than your words. Immediately, when the character says, trust me, I can do this, I'm going to get the money, I'm going to take care of us, we already have that doubt, like, I don't know. I don't know. And as a viewer, I'm thinking and hoping that Darla will make those moves without him confirming or without him agreeing. She's doing too much and she's in mommy mode. And she's probably thinking, I don't care what he says, I'll just go ahead and get that apartment. And it wouldn't surprise me if she does. When she had those reservations the first time and was talking about getting money of the funding that was used for her college expenses and she didn't go to college, she still moved forward because she went with her gut and she put the money to the side. So it won't surprise me if she goes ahead and takes the apartment. Ralph is in this state to where it's just like, I don't know if anybody can really trust what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I'm also thinking about my future, my safety, my future baby, all this other stuff. So we shall see if Ralph sticks to his word and if Darla will move forward without his consent because she's thinking about being safe and being precautious. Let's move on with Micah and Isaiah. It's a very intense but realistic situation that they experienced at the real spot. Somebody viewing, feeling uncomfortable about a photo and, just having these ruffled up feathers and thinking, oh, what is this picture implying? What is this? But the artwork did exactly what Micah was trying to display, that it's displaying some sort of comfort and loving, but it doesn't have to be understood as being homosexual. But there's people that jump to conclusions and can assume certain things, and it makes people uncomfortable. The more we have these conversations and the more that we relate and the more that we have open-mindedness towards certain things, it won't make people feel uncomfortable. Now, Hollywood says, hey, man, you're reading into this too deeply. It's just not this serious. While Ralph Angel is saying, hey, I had a son who played with a doll. It's not that serious. And if Micah and Isaiah do have that relationship, what's the big deal? It shows the generational gap when it comes to having those talks and people having stigmas and certain things that they feel. Now, let's just say, for example, that you don't agree with certain things and homosexual relationships and everything like that. The balance is that there's nothing wrong with your opinion. It's the outrage and offending other people about what you believe. And I think that is what that scene was wanting to show, that, wow, somebody in this room could be homosexual and you're insulting them. And it's something that they feel is their true way of being. When they get back to the dorm, Micah is so upset, right? And he's experienced this. He's like, I don't even want to have an exhibit because somebody's going to have something to say. And Isaiah is so torn because, of course, it's probably something that he goes through every day and he's sick of it. So much so that he tells Micah, look, you're not a superhero, okay? Don't think that you can just go around, make some powerful statements and do stuff and just think that my world's just going to change tomorrow. And he's just frustrated with it and says that, hey, just be my friend. And we can also see that he was really insulted by the fact that Micah was uncomfortable when he touched his shoulder again. It's just like, hey, man, I'm not trying to come onto you sexually. It's like Isaiah was just so sad about that. Like, man, I thought we were friends. You said all of that, but are you just fake woke? Are you saying one thing but actually feeling another? Because if you are, just say that and don't fake it. With Charley and Davis, it's bittersweet. It's bitter because of the sadness of not being able to let things blossom. But also, Charley is coming from a very realistic standpoint. Us being away and me being busy and you being busy, and not even just that, for the first time it seems like we have our individuality, right? So he had his career with basketball and all this other stuff, and now he has this new role as a coach. But Charley has always been mommy mode and playing manager and image consultant to him, but this is her moment to claim what she really wants to do. I also said in some of the reviews of previous episodes in the season before, and also for Insecure in its last season, in those episode reviews as well, check that out in the pinned comment, but I discussed how the career dynamic of men and women are changing. More women, you can look at stats anywhere, are understanding and having this epiphany of, why do I have to choose family over my career or vice versa? Yes, you can do both, but at the same time, what do I have a passion to do? Is marriage just the highest point that I can go in my woman life? And society, in Western society, it's painted as if, oh, you're a woman, the first thing I want to know is accomplishment. Are you married? Do you have children? Right? As if there's nothing else to you. And that could be very frustrating. And more women are saying, I'd rather have a baby later, but focus on my career. And more men are being the stay-at-home dads. Because why is it this pressure of women to have everything with family and to put their dreams on the back burner? It's this Western society's normalcy, quote unquote, of what a family should be. Because if you think about it from a male perspective, they can have a family and a career, and they don't actually have to really stop like females do, right? But yeah, it's this dynamic of her. She literally made a decision and saying, this is great. I see this love. It's great. But if we do that and we hardly seen each other and we're busy, it's going to fizzle and be terrible before we even get to that point. And what's the point? But it was refreshing to see David say, I'm a patient man. It's okay. We shall see how patient he is. Another thing of foreshadowing that we also have to look for in society, right, is the success of a woman and how men can be intimidated by that success. Will we see Davis's intimidation and him actually seeing her blossom into her role? That might be something that may cause a strain. And him seeing her so powerful and her seeing her taking her potential where she's going and making the run and trying to win, will that intimidate him? We shall see. Vi. With her vibe, prize, child. You know, you hope that she's honestly just saying, hey, this is a flare up, I'll be fine. Or if it's just old fashioned, just being stubborn, it's just like, you have such a fragile condition that you just can't say, oh, I'm just fine. It's okay. And, Hollywood's pleading with her, please let me take you to the hospital. This dynamic comes with a lot of people who don't know how to slow down. It's all they know. Busy. And when physical things slow you down, right? When you're fatigued, when you're depressed and all this other stuff, it seems like those are the only things that pull the reins and make you say, whoa. And that's not something that you should use, right? You shouldn't wait till a bill has a notice, a red notice to pay the bill, right? You don't want to wait till the last minute things are bad, right? And Vi is doing that. She's just pressing and helping. But at the same time, once again, what I've said this whole season, Vi needs to take the time to get her home in order. She was so focused on taking care of a lot of people and family and this, when she needed to make sure that things were right in her marriage, and she needed to make sure everything was right with her health. And I think, once again, it's really going to upset Hollywood that you're not taking his perspective, how I feel, what you're going through, and things that need to be 100% under the roof, because you're taking care of complete strangers, but you're not taking care of your marriage or yourself. And it is going to backfire. And I hope it doesn't push Hollywood away. I hope it does not. Other than that, I thought this episode was amazing. It said a lot once again within a short period of time. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button, you guys, so we can get the algorithm going on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this channel with family and friends. Let them know that it is family friendly. And if there's anything that's even close to being obscene or whatever, there's a warning before the video even begins. And I think that's just with the series The Handmaid's Tale, because a lot of the things in the verbiage may be a little offensive, because it's a very, very high volume, intense series. Other than that, check out a lot of the shows that are in the pinned comment. We have Ready to Love, which is a reality show dating series. We have the last season of Insecure. So good. Make sure that you check that out. We're in episode 2, so you got time to catch up. And also the final episode of season 2 of Wu-Tang and American Saga. Don't trip. If you haven't seen any of it, you have all of the links in the comments to binge watch and watch it all. Okay? I love you guys. In the meantime, in between time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.